All right, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you. Good morning. Welcome back to the first trading room for the week, the 9:30 trading room on a Tuesday morning. It's 6 minutes after half past 9 or 9:30. And yeah, we're gonna get right into it. But remember, guys, before we get started, remember that the information discussed in this session should not be construed as advice. All right. Everything that is discussed in this session should not be construed as advice. All right. There we go. Hope you guys had a good long weekend. Let me just look at the chat. All right, let's see who's joining us this morning. Let's see. All right. All the information, all the links are on the chat, guys. All right. Just scroll up. You'll see if you guys want to sign up for a trading account with us. The website, the link is on the chat. Just going to take you under 2 minutes. All right. tdmarkets.com. You can sign up for a trading account. You can also sign up if you want to trade derivatives live on or in our exchange, right? If you want to trade crypto derivatives live in our exchange or on our exchange, the link is tdmarkets.io, right? tdmarkets.io. In case some of you guys missed this, we do have a crypto division in TD Markets, right? We do have our exchange, a crypto division in TD Markets, and we are fully regulated, licensed, and everything. So if you guys if you're interested in crypto, you wanna trade crypto derivatives in our exchange, our website is tdmarkets.io. All right. So you've got tdmarkets.com and tdmarkets.io. All right. There we go. And then obviously we do have some education. Many of you guys received emails last week. More emails are gonna be sent also this week. All right, we are busy sending out emails, so if you have not gotten your email, it's coming, right? Or what you can do, because we've noticed that some of you guys, even though you're in the database but you did not get the email, just check your spam or send us an email to care@tdmarkets.com, right? There were some of you guys last week who never really got the email. If you did not, just send us an email to care@tdmarkets.com so that you have your email. You might have changed your email, all right? So yeah, we've got the TD Markets Academy as well. We provide education. It's important that you get the email so that you know what to do, all right? It's important that you get an email so that you know what to do here. We do have an introduction video to show you how to go about navigating the site and what you need to do. All right. So yeah. So who do we have? Let me see. We've got Baticles, Knight, Tanya, AV Trader, Siyabonga. We've got Jasmine, Young Sunny, Gondwe. I hope I'm pronouncing your name. Simone. Okay, Simone, Tanya, Young Sunny, the villain, Robert. Welcome, guys. Welcome. I think let's get it started. There's a question I missed here. Definitely happy Women's Day. Happy belated Women's Day. Happy belated Women's Day, guys. I hope you guys received breakfast in bed. I hope you guys received flowers. I hope you guys were spoiled, because that's what us men do. Hope you were spoiled. It was your weekend. It was your day yesterday. Hope you guys took full advantage of it. All right. Mr. or Mrs. Steenkamp, welcome. All right. So let's get right into it. How far is the education program? Yeah, no, look, all classes are resuming today, right? All education classes resume today. So, but just get the email so that you can get the intro video so that you know what to do, because but all classes resume today, right? Great stuff. I think let's get right into it. All right. It's a very busy week. We've got a very busy week ahead of us. we have some dollar inflation data reports coming out. So tomorrow, which is the 12th of August at 2:30, we've got the CPI, all right? The US Consumer Price Index inflation data. On Wednesday as well, we do have the PPI inflation data, all right? On Friday, we have retail sales and the COT report coming out. So in terms of the dollar, this week, we've got inflation data, retail inflation report, retail sales report, and then you guys can see we also have the GDP, the GDP out of Britain, all right? Yeah, so the dollar is going to be very, very, very volatile this week, all right? Cool. Great stuff, great stuff, great stuff. Let's do this. All right, so just a quick summary of what happened last week, all right? We saw that the yen was volatile. The yen, it was strong against the currencies, against the basket of currencies. But now this week we're seeing something different, all right? So my watch list for this week is on the yen, the JPY. The JPY is weak at the moment, and it seems like we are resuming the overall structure, all right? Like I told you guys the last time that what you saw on the JPY, like for instance, this move towards the downside on the JPY, right? I did not think that this is changing the entire structure, right? I didn't think that it's changing the entire structure. Yes, it is as a result of the BOJ's intervention. So I didn't think it's changing the structure, and it doesn't seem like it's going to change the structure. So my watch list for this week is on the yen, all right? I'm looking at the yen. I'm looking at the commodities, gold, which I'm going to take you guys through the analysis, all right? I'm not really looking at the AUD and the NZD. I'm not really looking at the euro, except the euro yen and the euro pound. The pound, I'm looking at the pound yen, the pound Aussie, right? In fact, let me take you guys through my watch list for this week, all right? And then we're gonna go through the analysis. This is what I'm watching for, and I believe that we're gonna have some trading opportunities here, all right? So the JPY for me, it's number one. The JPY pairs is number one. We're gonna go through the analysis in a moment. All right, we've got the JPY. We have the commodities. Well, let me just say gold and silver, right? Not platinum and palladium, gold and silver. All right, and then I'm looking at GBP JPY, Euro JPY, which falls under the JPY. I'm not really looking at the dollar this week, but I'm going to go through the analysis, all right? So let's start with the yen pairs. Let's go to the gold and silver. I'm also looking at the tech stocks, right? In fact, the indices. I'm looking at NAS 100 and US 30. All right. So before we go to the dollar, guys, I know some of you guys are looking at Euro USD. Before you go to that, let me quickly show you what my thoughts are on the JPY, and then we'll take it from there, right? So the Euro JPY, right? So this is how the Euro JPY is right now. It's very interesting because it seems like the structure has resumed trading towards the upside. And why do I say so? All right, let me show you why I'm saying so. So overall, we've been in a bullish structure. We can all see we've been in a bullish structure. And then we saw the reason why we were in a bullish structure is because we had the market breaking structure towards the upside, all right, bullish displacement towards the upside. And we broke this previous structure, right? Price came down for a higher low, and then it was pushing towards the upside before we got the intervention. So this is still a an important structure here. We still have this higher high here. All right. So when price fell here, you know, because from these areas, guys, from these areas, the outlook was that we're gonna go all the way to the high. Why? Because there was a higher low. So we had a higher low right there, right? And then price did go up, and then only here, that's when price dropped because of the intervention. But that did not change the structure. Why? Because price came back down to this low, did not break this low, just spiked this low. It seems like it grabbed some liquidity. Looking at the reaction, there's definitely, it came, it spiked, and then immediately shot back up. Let me go to the 1 hour and show you what I'm talking about. All right. This is what I'm talking about. So it aggressively came back down here and then shot back up, creating a bullish structure. So it definitely swept some liquidity down here. All right. Some of you guys might say it's a double bottom and all of that. That's okay. That's okay. All right. There's nothing wrong with that. So what does this mean now? We've got new structure that has not been fulfilled and tapped. Price came back down to this low, never broke this low, right? We've got a support here. We've got some liquidity sweep down here. And now price is going up. But what's important is how price is going up. That's important. This will not mean anything if price is not going up with an impulse or with some momentum. On the daily time frame, look at how aggressive this move is. So there's definitely pressure from the buyers, definitely. All right. So all of this is happening within a bullish structure. Everything is still bullish, right? Now, my thoughts on this one is that definitely there is some bullish pressure, and at some point, we may see Euro JPY going back to fully complete this cycle by going back to that high at some point. I don't know how long this will take, but at some point we may see price going back there. So as such, I'm bullish on this, right? I'm bullish on Euro Yen at the moment, Pound Yen, Dollar Yen, and all the other yen pairs, right? So this is the overall structure. Now, what is happening now, right? So in case you guys didn't know, I know that most of you guys know, but some of you guys may not know. When I do my analysis, I look for my bias from the daily time frame structure. So the daily time frame structure would give me my bias and direction, and then from there on the lower time frame, I just follow my daily time frame bias. All right. So if I'm bullish right now, anything I'm gonna do on the lower time frame is bullish, right? So have a look at this. We've got a spike here, right? So as price went down, it came back down for a retest. Seems like it gave us a retest here. I just want to see. All right, I don't want to complicate it. So we've got a retest there, and then price broke this structure here. So what does this mean? It means this structure here is also bullish. It's creating higher highs and higher lows. That's a higher low. We are about to create a higher high at some point, but we're seeing a bullish structure. So overall, the bigger picture is still bullish. And on the lower time frames, like your 4 hour, we also have a bullish structure here, right? That's why I'm bullish on this one. So what am I looking for here, right? I'm not sure if this will develop today, but if it does, it's going to be a trading opportunity. But what I'm looking for is I'm looking for price to correct before I jump and join the trend. I'm looking for something like this, right? I'm looking for price to correct before I join the trend. It might come back to retest this, right? It might not. But any correction here, I'll be looking to jump into this trend, right? I'll be looking to jump into this trend. And then maybe, we'll have a look at the take profits a little bit later. But yeah, this is simply what I'm watching out for. Very simple. Very simple. there's a bit of a correction here. Let's see. Yeah, there's a bit of a correction that's forming there. Just gonna give it a bit of time. But yeah, this is basically what I'm looking for. All right. So one more push on Euro Yen, a correction, and then one more push towards the upside. If you look at Pound Yen, same thing as well. Same thing as well. Let me do this. We've got the same thing as well, right? We can see that everything is bullish. And when price came back down, it never changed the structure, right? We are still within a bullish structure. We do have this cycle higher high that formed, and then price came back to this low here, right? When price was going up here, right, your thoughts would have been we're going back to this high, and then price came back for a correction again. Your thoughts would have been we're going back to that high because everything was bullish. You see that? So now we came back to this low. Same thing as the Euro Yen. We came back to this low, tapped this low one more time, and now there is pressure towards the upside now. You see that? So it's still bullish. This move towards the downside never changed the daily time frame structure, which is higher highs and higher lows. All right. So now, same thing. What I'm looking for on Euro Yen is the same on Pound Yen, right? We've broken the structure. This candle is important to you and I. This candle, right? Because we can see that there is a lot of pressure from this area. There's a lot of pressure from this area. If you look at Euro Yen as well, on Euro Yen, there's a lot of pressure from this area. I mean, yeah, that's where we had a lot of rejection from the buyers, right? Pound Yen, the same thing. So that's very important. Now we've got this aggressive candlestick. Very simple, very simple. All we're looking for here is a correction and a continuation towards the upside, right? So I'm waiting for price to first correct before I jump in on this trend and take it up to this area. First, this area. That area first, before eventually we go up there. So from the daily time frame, this is how we're looking. Very simple. On the lower time frames here, price is starting to correct, right? I'm not going to do anything, just waiting for the correction, waiting for something like this. Something like this. That's a correction right there before we go up. Before we go up. So that's how I'm looking at Pound Yen, right? So Euro Yen, Pound Yen, looking for the same thing. All right, straightforward, right? CAD Yen. CAD Yen, I've been talking about CAD Yen, my goodness. I've been talking about CAD Yen. Remember where we're going with this? We're going up to this high. That's where we're going with this. That target is still valid. That target is still valid, right? Why? Because of this weekly time frame structure. We have a higher low here. Clearly, this is your impulse. This is your correction. So now we're trading within the impulse. This impulse does not seem like it's finished. I don't think this impulse is done. Right? I don't think this impulse is done. Right? And also, this is a cycle. We're trading within the bullish cycle. So therefore, CAD Yen, guys, is still bullish. Yes, it came back down one more time for the intervention, but it's still bullish. And you will notice that if you are looking at this structure, here, you will notice that this higher low seems like it's this higher low of this structure. So what I'm trying to say is this, right? if you understand structure, you would notice that this particular degree is going like this. So this is your impulse, this is your correction, right? And then you've got this impulse. I know many of you guys might have a question. Now, what about the small corrections? What about, for instance, this correction? Isn't there a correction? Yes, these are corrections. However, these are not corrections of this degree, right? They are corrections of a lower degree or of a lower time frame. But in terms of this degree, this swing structure, the corrections on the higher low of the swing structure are these ones. There. This is how the swing structure is moving. And then anything inside, it's like the fractal nature of the market. The market moves in fractals. It's like the fractal nature of the market. So that means that the corrections are the corrections of a lower time frame, which makes up the lower time frame structure and trend, right? Which is developing this big trend. That is how market structure works, right? So now it seems like here we have our higher low, just like this higher low, and price is ready to go up now. The last time before price fell, we looked at this as our higher low here before price fell, and then it did go up, but now this moved towards the downside. What did it do? It expanded this correction. It expanded this correction. I'm not going to get deep into that, right? But now it simply means that this is now the new higher low of the same structure and degree. Just like that. All right. So CAD JPY also came back down to this low. It tapped this low one more time. It seems like all of them, there was liquidity down here, right? Euro JPY, liquidity was down here. Seems like price went back down one more time. GBP JPY, the same thing. CAD JPY, we are seeing the same thing as well, right? It swept, now it's ready to go up. Just like that. So what does this mean? It means just looking for buy opportunities. Just looking for buy opportunities. Let me do this. All right. So in terms of this trend here, right? Probabilities are high that we're going back to this high, right? As far as this trend is concerned, we're going back to that high of 118, right? However, before we even reach that high, there are some zones we need to be aware of before we even get to that high. For instance, we need to be aware of this zone. We need to be aware of this trend line here, right? We can see that it provided some resistance. So any move towards the upside, the first TP I would have here would be here. My first TP would be here, because we can't ignore this resistance. Price sometimes tends to do this, and this is what gold likes to do, right? If we, when we anticipate the price will go up, it would do this and come back down one more time. Break that low, and then once this structure is done, it would then do this, right? This is what it likes to do. At the same time, it can still break and do this again at the same time. All right, so we must not ignore that high there. So my TP would be, my first TP would be here, second would be there. All right, so CAD JPY, it is still bullish. Nothing has changed on this one. We can see the structure on the lower time frame is bullish. So on the 1 hour, let me use the 4 hour. In fact, let me use the 4 hour. So the 4 hour is already bullish. You see that? Now, I'm not gonna jump in on a buy there. Why? Because we don't have new structure. We don't have new structure there, right? So this, we can see price has been breaking structure towards the upside. So all I'm waiting for is for price to create new structure and just correct like it did here, right? Just correct a little bit before I jump in. So I would want something like this, a correction, and I would look for the continuation up. All right, I would look for the continuation up. So on the lower time frame, everything is bullish. We've got a bullish structure that's forming already. All we're waiting for is just a correction. But as long as the higher time frames, as long as there's confluence between the higher time frames and the lower time frames, that's it, right? In this case, my confluence on the daily 8-hour, 4-hour, 1 hour, because they're all creating the same structure. Even the weekly is creating a bullish structure. So there is confluence on all of these time frames. So that's why I'm looking for a buy. All right, so CAD JPY still bullish. Still bullish. All I'm looking for is just a correction and a continuation up. So you will notice that they are not correcting as yet. They are not correcting as yet, right? But it's there. The structure and everything is there. All right. So that's CAD JPY, and we've already looked at GBP JPY. USD JPY. Let's have a look. I'm not really looking at the dollar pairs, but let's have a look at what USD JPY is doing. On the yen pairs, guys, right? On the yen pairs, I've excluded the dollar yen because of what the dollar is doing, right? I've excluded it, but we can all see that price is pushing up, right? So same thing. You see what's happening here. The same thing. So if you take a look at the structure, this structure has always been bullish. So when price came back down, it never broke the previous structure. It never broke the previous structure. You see that? So everything is still bullish. Could be a fib trade on lower time frame. Yeah, if you spot a fib trade on the lower time frame, yeah, then that means it's a trade, you know. That means it's a trade. So what I would do in this instance, in this instance is, you see this daily candlestick, the bullish daily candlestick, all right? So I would want the daily candlesticks to correct this daily candlestick. That's what I would want. For instance, I would want a situation like this. If of course I'm looking at the daily time frame, right? I would want a situation like, let me see if I can find an example. Yeah, so let's say we are looking at this here. Now, wait. Yeah, I want to show you this. There we go. So price broke out of this consolidation. It broke out of this consolidation and gave us this push towards the upside. All right, right. And then now what I'm saying to you guys is I'm looking for something like this to happen, where on this daily time frame, I'm going to look for the daily candlesticks to correct this impulse here. And once it corrects that, then that's when I would use the Fibonacci. So let me quickly go back to where we are. So you see right now, we only have this daily candle, which is an impulse. This is today's daily candlestick. It has not really fully corrected, right? I would want it to correct so that I can identify my opportunity. Now, that is when I would then take my Fibonacci, draw my Fibonacci like this. You see that? If this happens. But now on the lower time frame, the same thing can still happen on the lower time frame. But I think on the lower time frame, you might want to wait for the daily correction to form first, because it might give you early early signals, early signals, meaning you might see something like this, where price, yes, does this, and then starts to impulse towards the upside, and then it corrects like this, right? And then you draw your Fibonacci like this, only to find that this is part of the correction. So if you draw your Fibonacci like this, there's nothing wrong in this Fibonacci because you were anticipating price to do this, right? But also just be careful that this might not be part of the correction, which is still correcting like this, all right? So what I would do is that I wouldn't first look at the lower time frame correction, Fib. I would wait for the correction of this impulse. Look at how big this impulse is. Surely there has to be some sort of a bigger correction, surely before we go up, right? I might be wrong, but surely there has to be a bit of a correction. It might go to 38, it might go to 50, but there has to be some sort of that correction there, right? So yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. So this example here, so this would be my ideal setup for a continuation up. My ideal setup, this, right? Even this one, you see when this structure broke here, so this was the impulse pushing up like this, right? So we created new structure there. What do I need? I need this correction. So what I'm saying to you is, I just want to zoom into this correction here. This is what I'm saying. Whoa. So if we take this as the impulse, which is an impulse, right? Because of the structure and the time frame it's on, we are likely going to get a correction this big. Likely going to get this correction this big, right? And then what would I do in this situation? I would take my Fibonacci to measure how far the correction could go. And with the Fibonacci, I normally use the 1561.8, right? That's what I use. And I would look for setups like this. You see how it went down to that 5061.8. If it goes down to any other level, then I don't take it, right? It's still a setup, but I don't take it. It might be a setup for other people, which there's nothing wrong with it. But when I measure the Fibonacci, my ideal setup, sort of like my A+, one of my A+ setups is the correction coming back down to at least minimum tapping the 50. That's my ideal setup. If it doesn't tap the 50, then it's not my ideal setup. So I would look for something like this, and then anywhere around here, I would then look for this push towards the upside. That's what I'm talking about. You see how it is, guys? But please take note, right? If you use the Fibonacci, let me draw the Fibonacci here. If you use the Fibonacci, you would notice that you still have your 38.2 level, 23.6. Let me to 23.6 and 38.2, I believe. 382. 38.2. Now, you need to understand the following when you use the Fibonacci, that you've got these Fibonacci levels, right? If you use the Fibonacci for the purpose of catching the continuation, then you would notice that some corrections would go to 23.6 and then reject from there, right? And some would be a little bit deeper, like 38.2, some 50, right? 61.8, and then some even 78.6, right? These are the corrections we can get in a trend. It will depend on how the trend is. I'm not going to get too deep into this, but what I can give you guys some sort of a clue is that if the trend has been moving up like this, and then you only see the trend up here. So here we obviously had the corrections, right? Why do I use 1650 most of the time? Is because of this. If the trend has been moving, and then it has created these higher lows, And then you find that these higher lows have been forming on a level that is consistent. Meaning, if the first pullback was maybe, let's say, on 50 as an example, it went down to 50, right? The second one went down to 61.8. And then maybe the third one went to 61.8 again. What does this tell you about this trend? It tells you that the way this trend is behaving is such that when it corrects, it normally goes down to 61.8 and 50. This is what this specific trend tells you. So now, if it corrects the next time, I'm going to anticipate the next correction to do the same thing, because that's the current behavior of this trend. And then you have other trends which are going to give you an impulse, a shallow pullback, an impulse, a shallow pullback, an impulse, right? And then if you notice that with the Fibonacci, these pullbacks normally go to 23.6. You see now, this is how that trend is behaving. So which means the next time it corrects, you would anticipate and expect this to go to 23.6. That's it. So that's why I'm saying that some pullbacks are going to be shallow, some are going to be deep, and it will depend on how the trend has been behaving all along. How it's been behaving all along. So normally I would look for such trends. I would look for this trend normally, right? These are the trends I like to trade. These ones, yeah, I don't really look at such a trend. It's a very aggressive trend, right? So if I'm anticipating the Fibonacci, the correction to go to 50, it will not go because of how strong it is. So usually I would miss these ones and I would focus on these ones because they give me a proper decent correction and an impulse and a TP. That's what I'm talking about. So just a tip, if you're using the Fibonacci, which is a brilliant tool. All right. Yeah, so let's see what's going to happen on this one. All right. USD JPY, guys. USD JPY, same thing. My goodness. USD JPY. So we can all see that the structure is bullish, right? I don't need to draw a lot of objects on the chart, right? We can see that it's bullish. The structure has not, the market didn't break the structure towards the downside. All right. So now if it's this bullish, I'm focused on buying the market. That's it, right? So the question is, could this be the higher low? Is this the higher low? That's the question. Well, we need to break it down now to see if there's the higher low. And from what I see, I think there's now pressure towards the upside now, right? I think this move is done. There's pressure towards the upside. Why? Because it came back down to this demand zone. It came back down to this demand zone here. Right. So this is the demand zone, right? Other people may call it, order blocks and whatever. Order block, demand, supply is the same thing. So price came back to the demand zone, tapped it, did not sweep liquidity, but it went down to the demand zone. And now what we're starting to see is a bullish structure. So from the demand zone, we start to see a bullish structure. If you combine these things together, you will now, it will give you a picture, right? It will give you a picture. So within this bullish structure from the daily time frame, it seems like we have now found the higher low here. And now price on the lower time frames, what is it doing? It has changed the structure. Look at how it's now bullish. Right. Let me go back to the daily. What I also see is this as well. We have broken out of the structure as well. Let me just zoom out. Yeah, there isn't much to do on the daily time frame. Okay. Yeah, on the daily time frame, there isn't much to do. I think as long as price bounced on the demand zone, you know, as long as price bounced on the demand zone, that's good. Which means there is pressure from the buyers. If it happens that price goes down one more time, then I think it's gonna come back down to this low here. It's gonna come back down to this low and then do this, right? If that's a liquidity pool, it's gonna come back down to this low and do it. If it's gonna do that, we just have to wait and see. But any move to the downside, we know where it's going, all right? But as it is right now, it's bullish. So which means the focus here for myself is, you know, catching the continuation. What are we looking for? We're looking for another higher low, right? There's no structure, there's no new structure that formed. So I want price to form new structure by correcting down and then continue up. Continue up. There. So the trend here would be this one, right? This would be the trend, which is in confluence with what? With this bigger trend. They are all giving us the same thing. They're all giving us the same thing. Yeah, so for me, USD JPY, this is how I'm looking at USD JPY, all right? Let me see how far, about 200 pips. Yeah, I mean any correction here would give us about 200 pips towards the upside. So any correction here, there would be an opportunity that would give us about 200 pips. Yeah. Okay, so USD JPY, that's how I'm looking at USD JPY. All right. So it's straightforward, guys, right? It's straightforward. GBP JPY, Euro JPY, CAD JPY, these things are still very much bullish. Of course, if you want to catch the swing, but if you're trading lower time frames, right? If you're trading lower time frames, once this corrects down, on the 15 minutes, 1 hour, 15 minutes, you're going to get something like this. You're going to get a structure like this, right? Which can be a trading opportunity, a short-term trading opportunity for those looking at the lower time frames, right? So that means you can short-term sell, like a move like this. Short-term sell a move like this all the way back down to this low, right? But if you're looking to swing this, then the swing that you'd want to catch would be a swing like this. A swing like this. So it will all depend on your trading style, right? Once it corrects on the lower time frames, there is going to be short-term sell opportunities, provided that you get your setups, you can take advantage of them short-term. The swing you would not want to miss is this swing. That's what you wouldn't want to miss. That's it. So guys, so we went over Euro JPY, we went over GBP JPY, USD JPY, CAD JPY. All right. I'm not done with the analysis. We still have Euro Pound. Right? Still holding Euro Pound. Nasdaq. Still on Nasdaq. We've been talking about Nasdaq going up. So still on Nasdaq. We're going to talk about Nasdaq in the next session. US 30 as well. We're going to talk about these, right? So I'm still on Euro Pound, Nasdaq, US 30. So we're going to talk about these on the next session. But for this morning, I think we're good for the morning. All right. Euro Pound, GBP, JPY, dollar, and CAD Pound. Let's see what's going to happen. And then, yeah, Definitely in the next session, I'll break down more charts for you. Thank you for getting to the Fib tip. Yeah, no, Fibonacci is very simple. Fibonacci is very simple. All right. Once you understand it, you will notice how, I think as traders, we are lucky to have the Fibonacci as the tool. We are lucky to have this tool. This is an important tool. If you know how to use it correctly, you know when to use it and when not to use it. Let me repeat that. If you know when to use it and when not to use it, you will see how brilliant it is. All right, so let's have a look at these setups, and we will definitely come back during the course of the day at 12 o'clock, and then we'll look at other pairs of calls. We still have gold to talk about. We're going to talk about gold. Silver, we'll also have a look at silver. But yeah. So I'm looking for a short-term sell on silver. I'll explain why I'm looking for a short-term sell on silver, right? I'll explain why I'm looking for a short-term sell on silver. I think silver is gonna go down a little bit. All right, so guys, that's it for the morning. I will definitely catch you guys later on at 12. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let's pump up those likes, and then some great opportunities this week. All right, I'll catch you guys. Have a good morning. Cheers, and enjoy.